An estimated 7 million Americans are living with dementia, and it's estimated that the number of new dementia cases each year will double, reaching 1 million cases, new cases, per year by 2060. Now, Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, but when Bruce Willis was diagnosed with frontotemporal dementia in 2022, the little-known disease was suddenly in the spotlight, tragically associated with one of the most popular actors of our time. FTD doesn't affect a person's memory, but rather it affects the way a person behaves, the way a person speaks and communicates. It's the most common form of dementia in people under 60, but it often takes years to diagnose because it's not that well known or well understood. Bruce's wife, Emma Heming Willis, has made it her mission to not only shine a light on FTD, but to bring attention to the struggle of the 63 million people in America who are caring for loved ones. In her New York Times best-selling book, The Unexpected Journey, Finding Strength, Hope, and Yourself on the Caregiving Path, Emma provides a blueprint that she says she wishes she had when Bruce was diagnosed 3 years ago. I sat down with Emma a few moments ago for a wide-ranging conversation. Emma, great to have you on the show. First of all, I just want to ask, how is Bruce doing these days?
I think all things considering, I think that he's doing okay with a really unkind disease. FTD is the most common form of dementia for people under the age of 60. And it can affect people in three different ways, either behavior, language, or movement. And for Bruce, he was diagnosed with primary progressive aphasia, so that affects his language and communication.
So he's unable to communicate to you at all?
He communicates. It's just in a different way that we have learned to adapt to.
Yeah. It seems, FTD, as you said, is incredibly common, the most common kind of dementia for people under 60, but you had never actually even heard about it before Bruce was diagnosed with it.
No, I actually, this is kind of my first go around with dementia. I didn't even know there was such a thing as a young onset dementia, let alone FTD and what that was and what that meant.
What were the first symptoms you first noticed that Bruce himself might have noticed?
I think for me, what I noticed was that his stutter started to come back. Bruce had a severe stutter when he was a child that he held on to actually for most of his life, but was able to kind of get a handle on it, I think, in his adult years. And then I started seeing that it started coming back. And never in my wildest dreams would I think that was now becoming a symptom of FTD.
Very quickly, you found yourself in a place you never imagined in your marriage, in your life as a caregiver. There are more than 60 million people doing what you're doing right now, and it is not easy. In fact, it's so difficult. A neurologist told you that caregivers often die before the people they're caring for, that mortality rates are 63% higher.
Yeah, and that was a statistic that I had never heard, and it was definitely my wake-up call to realize that caregiving can be really harmful to your health. And I didn't know that, and I was grateful yet alarmed that his neurologist shared that with me. And that was a call for me to start taking care of myself, because I needed to see and make sure that I could sustain this journey, not just for Bruce, but also for our two young daughters who were 8 and 10 when Bruce was diagnosed.
How did you explain to your daughters what was happening with their dad?
I think that they saw what was happening over time. Again, this has been a very slow, progressive disease. I've always been very open and honest with them. I think, there's this idea that we want to protect and not always say everything that is truthful, but I felt like it was important for them to understand what their dad was experiencing. And when we got the diagnosis, told them what it was. And what I've learned from one of the experts that I bring into my book is that you give them the information and then you wait to hear what they might ask. And that's sort of how I've kind of navigated this with them.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.